if you're wondering why I'm smiling, I think I have all the right not just to smile but to laugh. You know why? Because we are going to talk about a historic win. Hello and welcome to Around the Wickets on ThePapare.com. I got a very excited guest, Farveez Maharoof, and myself. We are both very excited, and I'm sure so are you watching us, because it was a victory that I don't think most Sri Lankans expected. Honestly, I didn't. Going into stumps on day 3 at 80 for 3, I thought it was a long haul. It was a long haul, but what an innings by Kusal Perera. And let's not forget Vishwa Fernando. He needs to be given all the credit. Today, Kusal Perera would have been history if Vishwa Fernando got out. Now, that's where we want to start our show on. And I want to ask Farveez Maharoof first and foremost, as an ex-cricketer, how proud were you to see Sri Lanka winning that game from virtually nowhere?
Absolutely. I mean, coming from Australia and New Zealand, where we had no chance, and straight away, I mean, remember we spoke the other day, and we said that if we compete, that's going to be good enough, and as well as expectations, where I didn't have much. So I mean, they proved us all wrong, and I'm very happy. I mean, I'll join you there. And the way we won it, the character what we showed chasing down that score was absolutely brilliant. It's not about individuals. As you said, Vishwa Fernando's, the partnership that we had with Kusal Perera, you know, that for me is like a 50-run not out by Vishwa Fernando, the way he batted. And what he said in the media, it was published, saying that, you know, I'll play from my body, don't worry, I'm not giving the wicket. And that confidence, Kusal, you know, that's a massive positive for him. And he just went on his merry way, and whatever he tried, and you know, everything became right for him.
You know, we all know that cricket is a team game, and lots of people, if they want to pick holes, they can always pick holes and say it's only Kusal. And they'll also say that maybe Vishwa Fernando and Lasith Ambuldeniya. But then that's how the game goes. I mean, there are days for you and there are also off days. But I think the momentum started, correct me if I'm wrong, 5 wickets for 9 runs, and 2 youngsters, Lasith Ambuldeniya on his debut, getting those 5 wickets, and Vishwa Fernando bowling his heart out. And even Faf du Plessis was lost for words trying to explain what happened.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I'm interrupting. Yeah. Are you a big believer of momentum? You think momentum is a key when a game starts to swing?
Definitely. Momentum and rhythm, that's a word, that's the 2 words I use often. When you said 5 wickets for 8 runs, the way Faf du Plessis got out, Vishwa coming round the wicket, swinging back in, reverse swing, and when he was on 90, set batsman, that it shows what a good delivery it was. From there, you know, South Africans were just, you know, I mean, they didn't value the wicket after Faf du Plessis. It was very easy.
You think they were complacent? Do you think they were taking it a little bit easy?
I thought when they reached 300 mark of the lead, they would have thought in this wicket is going to be hard, and they would have been a slightly complacent, but I don't think 100% they were. But certainly the body language showed that they were complacent, and taking nothing away with Lasith and Vishwa Fernando, the way they bowl. I mean, Vishwa Fernando playing his 3rd test match, Lasith debut. I mean, what brilliant way to round things off.
Yeah, I think that proves to the world that Sri Lanka has talent. There is no doubt about talent. It's about harnessing and playing as a team. Of course, we did speak about in our last program, it's a new start, a new captain. It's a fresh opportunity, and I think the Sri Lankans have grabbed it with both hands. Now, we need to dwell, we need to try and devote at least a minute or 2, or even a little bit more if I can, on Kusal Perera. Lots of parallels have been drawn. Michael Vaughan went on Twitter saying, is this the greatest innings that one has played? They've drawn parallels to the great Brian Lara when he made those runs at Bridgetown against Australia. So lots of interesting parallels, but I want you to get into the mind of Kusal Perera. Now, that partnership was going. I always felt that Dhananjay De Silva, despite all his promise, somehow he seems to be the type of player who throws it away. You know, at a time when Sri Lanka looked to be comfortable, Sri Lanka lost that wicket playing that sweep. And another thing is, 2 wickets lost on the same score on 3 different occasions. So, as a batsman, batting with the tail ender, 78 runs to go. I've got 100 to make. I got 304 to try and aim at. Let's try and get into the mind of Kusal Perera, the batsman.
I think once you have a free mind, especially batting with Vishwa, you know that as Kusal Perera, bulk of the runs has been scored by him. So that may be giving that free license to go after, and it worked. So that any batsman, when they're having free mind and when they go after, most of the time they'll be successful. And that's exactly what Kusal did. And as I said, everything he tried worked for him and worked for Sri Lanka. As well as when it comes to Dhananjay Silva, brilliant 48, again 3 wicket away. But I think him batting at 7 is not my choice. I like to see him at 6, Dikwala at 7, because Dikwala's game is ideally suited for number 7. I know why Dikwala batted at number 6, maybe the top one of the form batsmen going to the test match. But personally, I would like to see Dhananjay at 6, Dikwala at 7, because Dikwala is good at batting with the tail. And Dhananjay is more of a sedate batsman, will take time. So I like to see that change in the next test match. I mean, if they play the same team, hopefully they should. And if they can do that, I think even we'll be having a better chance, because South Africans, had to win this test match, and they'll be coming all guns blazing. And in Port Elizabeth, the wickets tend to be a bit slow. It might work for us as well this time.
Yeah, now you must excuse us for dwelling a little bit more on this famous victory, because it's been a drought as far as Sri Lanka is concerned, after beating South Africa, losing to England at home, then New Zealand, Australia. So I'm dwelling a little bit more, if you allow me to do that. That last wicket partnership was 78, the second best 10th wicket for Sri Lanka. Now, I wanted you to get into the mind of Kusal Perera. Now I want you to change roles. Get into the mind of the fielding captain. You know why I say this? I've had interesting discussions on how to break a last wicket partnership when you have a specialist batsman. Now I'm going to take half a minute more. Now listen to me. Most captains in scenarios like this tends to take their foot off the pedal when the senior or the established batsman is facing. They seem to be quite comfortable to spread the field and only attack the tail end. Now Jeff Boycott is very big on that, and he says that both batsmen need to be attacked from both ends. Now that's his theory. Faf went the other way. He wanted to stay back and just take his chances. And one thing that I felt a big mistake Faf did was, even in the second new ball, sorry, I'm kind of digressing. When the second new ball was taken, Kusal Perera on strike, about 40 runs to get, not even a slip. So what do you think, if you were the fielding captain, you would have done differently?
I thought having a short boundary in the leg side, the amount of sixes hit to the short boundary, that actually played a role. Whenever there was already 4 fielders patrolling the boundary, even still, Kusal had the confidence to take it on and go over the top, and he actually middled it, and I think 3 sixes or 4 sixes were scored. 5. And when it comes to attacking, what I thought what Faf missed is that, as you said, even 40 runs, a slip and a gully. How many runs went through gully? Yeah. If I remember, there were 10 to 15 runs went through gully.
And also, doesn't it give the set batsman a message? A point.
Also, Kusal Perera's reputation of being a big hitter would have played in Faf's mind as well.
It's a tough call.
It's a tough call, definitely a tough call. But I mean, they had the bowlers to do it. I mean, you got 3 fast bowlers bowling at 140.
Yeah.
I mean, they got the armory there, but just that tactfully, they got it wrong. But as I said, Kusal Perera, you just have to give him the credit, the way he batted, the way he middled. Some of the sixes went so far. And for our own luck, the boundary on the leg side, from the pavilion side, watching from the pavilion on the left-hand side, was much shorter. And whenever Dale Steyn bowled from the pavilion, and he was going for huge sixes there. So that's where Kusal did a magnificent job. Which bowler to target, which end to target. That's what he did.
Yeah, brilliant innings. And also, let's not forget, on the subject of the bowling attack, this attack, that is Steyn, Rabada and Philander together, are statistically, supposedly, the best ever seen combination in the world. Yeah. Now, it's a passers, Wasim Akram and Waka Yunis, even the great Malcolm Marshall, Richard Hadley, you can go on. Right. Is Sri Lanka going to create history? Only Australia and England have beaten South Africa in South Africa. No team, no other team. Of course, we must give it to the West Indies, because not in their heyday did they play there. So they were a kind of a depleted side. They were on the way down. So I wouldn't dwell too much on the West Indies. But India, Pakistan, New Zealand, they haven't beaten. So my question, straight question, history or not?
Definitely yes. Why not? I mean, we are such a moral boosting.
You're wearing a Sri Lankan hat or a neutral hat?
I'm wearing a neutral hat for sure. Good. But what I'm trying to say is, when it comes to momentum, the word we use quite often, we got it. And South Africans, when you're too hungry, you're too eager to do well, that's maybe a downfall also. I mean, if we score runs, I keep saying it, we score 300 runs, we are in the game. Because with the batting order what the South African has, 6 batsmen, most of them are out of form. Hashim Amla was out of form. Only Quinton de Kock and Faf du Plessis was in the rhythm for me. Other than that, everyone struggled. And Rishabh Fernando swinging the new ball, and Kasundra hitting that good length and getting that extra bounce, and we'll still be in a good fight. But all in all, for us to make history, I think 2 things. The fast bowlers with the new ball have to count, and once the ball loses its shine, you just have to bowl one line and length. Let Lasith Tamuldina do the other work from the other side. And batsmen somehow score 300. I think we can be dreaming.
What can we expect at Port Elizabeth? You expect it to be slow, but as Faf promised, he said we are going to come back hard.
Yeah.
You think it will be a fast bouncy track? Well, that's not the complexion of Port Elizabeth.
No, it's not. I mean, definitely Port Elizabeth being on the seaside, the general talk in South Africa, seaside venues like Durban, Port Elizabeth, East London, the wickets are pretty slow. And you go to Highveld, which is Johannesburg and Centurion Park, the wickets are much quicker and bouncier. So Port Elizabeth having that reputation of being a bit slower, it might work for us, but I'm pretty sure there'll be a lot of grass left in it, and they'll still play the 4 fast bowlers. The South African will go hard at it. But when you say fast, it won't be that fast, but just definitely have those grass, seam and swing. And if he bat, and if he can neglect the first few overs of if he land a play, I mean, second is he didn't bowl.
He's not playing.
He's not playing. All right. So he'll be a big miss because he looked like whenever he bowled, he looked like picking up a wicket. So he'll be a big miss for the South African. So another positive for us as well.
So you think Sri Lanka should go in with an unchanged side?
I think so. I mean, yesterday we heard Kusal Mendis got injured, so I don't know what's his fitness like. But in case if Kusal is not fit, definitely number 4 batsman. But I think the bowler should remain the same. If Sumarang Lakmal is fit, we know that he's coming from a bit of an injury, and also selector said that he'll be rested some games as well.
I don't think he needs to be rested.
I doubt it as well.
Against Australia at Canberra, so he's got a break.
Absolutely. I mean, he's not in the one-day squad also. So this will be last game. Personally, I like to see the same bowling attack. If Kusal Mendis is injured, I like to see Angelo Pereira at number 4. I mean, he's the only available player. I mean, Vinay Sirivadan is fighting for a place with Dayan Silva, being the spinning all-rounder there. So I think, apart from that change, Roshan, I don't see anything else.
Right, now I have forced him to wear so many hats. I told him to wear the hat of Kusal Pereira, I told him to wear the hat of Faf du Plessis, now wear the hat of a selector. 9 changes in a one-day side from New Zealand. Last one-day series before the World Cup. Is that good news, bad news, right way to go?
Vulnerability. We still don't know our 15. That's why we keep on saying that.
But my question is, do you shake it so much? That's my question. Because now Matthews is out.
Injured.
I understand that. Chandimal is dropped. Good news is Dhananjay is coming back. Now imagine Danushka Gurtilaka is out. Chandimal is out. Sadira Samaravikram is out. Now I'm surprised about Sadira Samaravikram. Honestly, been persisted for so long. Gunaratna, I understand that. Dasun Chanak, I understand that. Prasanna, I understand that. Well, Dushmantha Chamira, Nuwan Pradeep, Lahiru Kumara could be having injury concerns. But how can you shake a side so much? I'm only playing the devil's advocate here. I'm not in any way trying to say that this is wrong. But I, as an outsider, feel that this has too many changes. I mean, we still don't have a settled lineup.
No.
So what do we do? I mean, I don't think this is very healthy. What is your opinion? Now you're wearing a selector's hat. Try and defend what I'm telling you.
And when it comes to Angelo and Danushka, they are injured. Lahiru Kumar is injured. Those 3 names are right on top when it comes to final selection. For me, in the 15-man World Cup. And as you look at the batsman, Sadira Samaravikram, very unlucky.
Why?
Very I mean, it's hard to answer that question, Roshan, knowing that he just played 1 20 game in the entire 2 tours, and straight away he comes to Sri Lanka and scores 100. Still not into consideration. And only reason I can think of is 2 things: experience and Avishka Fernando's form. Avishka Fernando in the Ireland series against A team, 300s, 2 half centuries in 5 games, and Upal Taranga coming in. I think Upal is coming in for Danushka.
Now I'm going to disagree with you. When he was playing Ireland, where was Sadira?
He was in, I think he was in Australia.
Yes, exactly. So how can you judge a man when he was not even given a chance?
I think based on form, this has been picked up, and I'm pretty sure Upal is straight away a swap for Danushka. But Avishka Fernando, I personally feel that he has got the right break at the right time.
Absolutely.
You had to carry on with that. But I mean, take a look at some of the new names coming in: Priyamal, Angelo, and Osunda.
Now, Osunda and Priyamal. Now, again, obviously, I'm delighted for them. These are young cricketers that needs to be given every encouragement. But where have they proved themselves? Are they white ball or red ball?
I think they have been scoring a lot of runs in the red ball.
In the red ball.
Red ball.
So,
I mean, there haven't been any one-day cricket.
Exactly.
And Angelo Pereira, of course, played in the Island series.
Yeah.
He did score some
runs. So, as a selector, I'm interrupting you. As a selector, would you pick a player who's in good red ball form to play white ball cricket, because we know that the game is different?
I mean, it's a hard call to give an answer, Roshan, because there's no white ball cricket played at the moment in Sri Lanka. It just started last week. But why I see Priyamal in the squad is a like-to-like replacement for Angelo Matthews. That's his role, batting in middle order, digging in the...
good player.
Very good player, good in form. And also is very... there was a... I mean, I feel like even Asela Guratna would have had a fight with Priyamal, but they have gone on form. I mean, definitely Priyamal is on better form than Asela, so rightly so he has got the call. Osuna Fernando, but I think he's going to battle in the bat in the middle order. I mean, these guys have to prove themselves. I mean, Kusal Mendis last year averaged only 15 in the one day, so he won't be having his play show as well. So he has to fight here as well. So I reckon too many changes. Yeah, definitely. But it just shows we still don't know 15. There are 3 players have to come in. And combination wise, I'm excited to see how are we going to go. And happy to see Surudana back. He has done well recent past. Akira Dhananjaya, of course, we've been craving for him for such a long time. And he's coming back, so it's a very good news for us. And coming to Mendis, which I expected. Youngster should be given a go. Did really well in the domestic season and in the A-team series against Ireland. So rightly, he has been picked. So this is their chance to put their hand up and get into that flight to England.
Well, now don't get me wrong. I'm not in any way criticizing Perumal or Avishka or anyone. I'm delighted for them. I'm only asking him the questions that you might have. And I'm just being the devil's advocate here. I'm delighted for these youngsters. They deserve it, and Sri Lanka need to pick
one more thing, Roshan.
Possible talent. Yes.
We have to speak about Viswa Fernando. Purple patch straight away.
Yes.
So I think he's been included straight away of his first test performances. That shows players on form. Players on form straight away get into the field. I'm sure that Viswa Fernando had again a fight with Kusurang Lakmal, who's going to come in, but they have gone with Viswa, especially the way he bowled, the energy he showed. He's bowled about 45 overs in a test match, and the way he batted. So rightly so, when a player hits that purple patch, you should give it a go, and that's what with Viswa Fernando we have got it.
Right, now Sri Lanka have won the first test match against South Africa, second test about to happen. The Sri Lankan ladies were also in South Africa, and it's a whitewash. Are you surprised?
No.
Whitewash, the South Africans have whitewashed Sri Lanka now. Not the other way around. But why? Chamari Atapattu, 98 of 78, I still think, I do think that she's a very fine player. But why? You think Sri Lankan ladies are still struggling to compete at that level?
I definitely think so. I mean, look at the last few series, apart from the Indian series which happened in Sri Lanka. I think one of the games we chased down a record score. Apart from that, it's been very inconsistent. I mean, inconsistent is a word we use before this test match with the men's team. Yeah. Same with the women's team. They are very inconsistent, and they've got to be, probably new way to play the game. I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen them playing, so I can't answer it.
Is that the tagline of Sri Lanka cricket? Inconsistency. Well, I'm hoping not. I'm hoping not. Anyway, thanks a lot for joining us, Maha. Well, that's a story on Around the Wickets. I know we did take some time. Sorry about it. But these are questions that we had to discuss. We're hoping that the second test will also have real good news, and Sri Lanka will be creating history in South Africa. Now, question of the week is, who scored Sri Lanka's first test 100 in South Africa? Now, focus is on South Africa, ladies, men's teams. We're asking you a question. Who scored the first test 100? Now, last week we asked you what was the highest individual score of the recently concluded Sri Lanka Major League or the Premier League, and who scored it? The answer, Kaushal Silva. Is that a surprise? He scores runs, tons and tons of runs. He's a run machine in domestic cricket. 273 versus the Army Sports Club. And the winner, congratulations, Anfal Hanafi. I wonder whether I pronounced it correctly, but I'm sure Anfal I did pronounce correctly. So that's a story on Around the Wickets. We're so pleased and happy to bring this episode to you, because it's a winning story, and we hope we can continue the good news when we join you again. Until then, it's goodbye.